Thank you all for coming. We really appreciate your attendance today. We're going to start just now. We just give you a few more minutes for a few more volunteers to come through. We just, praise team is just getting ready. As everyone that is seated already, has everyone signed the register that's at the entrance?
I signed.
How many of you have not signed the register? Hello? How many of you haven't signed the register? So everyone signed the register? We all signed the register? Okay, that's really, really important for us. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm going to hand you over to our praise team, to Pastor Brett, and he's going to lead us in worship. So we're just going to spend a few moments in worship, do a song while we're waiting for more people to come in, and as they join in, and then we'll go straight into the inductions. Let me hand you over. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You please stand as we sing the song. Beauty that made
We thank you for this afternoon, Father. We've come to worship you, Lord, with our lives as living sacrifices today. We give you glory and honor, oh God. I'm just going to call Pastor Reggie to come and just pray even as we continue this volunteers induction.
Father, we thank you, Lord. We thank you for your love and your mercies. We thank you for such a beautiful presence in this place, Lord. So tangible, my God. There's such an expectation, there's such an anticipation. And Father, I thank you, Lord, for every single person, Lord, that is here to serve, Lord. And we know, Lord, that the highest calling is servanthood, my God, because you left your throne room and you became a servant, my God. And Father, it's worth it, Lord. We thank you for who you are. I pray, Lord, that even as we go through this induction process, Lord, that we know, Lord, that you will help us, Lord, and just put everything into orderly fashion, Lord, so every one of us understands and know what is expected of us, Lord. Father, I pray, Lord, that as long as you are in the midst, Lord, you keep everything together, my God. We pray, Lord, that you continue to be with us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. You may be seated. At this time, I'm going to call Pastor Speedy, and he is going to greet us.
Praise the Lord. I greet you all in the precious name of Jesus. Thank you so much for coming. Give the Lord a mighty hand, praise Him. Thank God for the response. I just want to encourage you that you're in the right place at the right time, amen. In the move of God that's taking place right now all over the earth. And I believe that even as the Bible talks in the book of Ezekiel, that God was looking for a man that could stand in the gap, amen. And today I believe we are that man, the church of God that's coming together to stand in the gap to see the transformation that will take place in South Africa and the rest of the world. So in this hour, as we come together as a family of God, as the right people in the right place, in the right season, to take the authority, to take dominion over the domain that God has given us, as we come together as a corporate gathering, as we come together, as the Bible says, one will put 1,000 to flee, two will put 10,000. Right now, there's a multitude that is coming together. So I want you to get excited. Don't be moved by the things that are happening in the country, because this is the time when we rise up and we put a push in our spirit and be able to take authority over this wickedness and this evil that is taking place. This is the 9th month, so get ready for a new birthing in the spirit as God will use His sons and His daughters. As the evil is rising, so is God's army that is rising up in this day. Can we give the Lord a hand, please, for that? I want you to be encouraged that as we come together, as we were listening and worshiping this afternoon, He's the light of the world. He's come right now, it's in our hearts, and we have to shine His light through our actions. So as we come to this time of serving, all God is asking for is humility, amen? If we can just humble ourselves, just do what's told for us to be done, I promise you, you will see the hand of God move. So this is an awesome time. It's history in the making. I want to tell you right now, there's going to be a massive spiritual volcano explosion. And you're going to taste and feel of the lava that will flow from Phoenix to the uttermost part of the earth. Amen. I believe God's about to do something big. You know, it's like you're excited about something, but you don't know what you're excited about. So in the spirit realm, there's an excitement, there's an impregnation, there's an anticipation for something great to happen. And we're going to see the hand of God. Can someone say amen to that? Are you blessed? It's so exciting to see so many of you here today. And right now, I'm going to hand over to Joe to continue. God bless.
Amen. Once again, we just want to thank all of you for coming today. Just to let you know that this induction is very, very critical, and it's also a legal requirement for us to do this induction because we're going to be in a venue that is a public place, and we're going to be hosting a whole lot of public coming in. There's public liability, and there's a whole lot of different consequences and responsibilities that we have. So we have to induct you in terms of what is going to be on the day, so you have a full understanding of the layout of the place, the different security measures, everything else that needs to be put together, so you know what your responses need to be, and in the event of any emergencies, how to respond, right? So I'm going to try to run through this induction process. If there's any questions, or anyone's got any questions on each slide, I don't know, maybe we should rather just take the questions immediately and answer it and get it out of the way, so that because if there's quite a few slides, by the end of it, you may lose your thought or something like that. So if you have any questions, you need clarity, you need to ask that now. We'll give you answers as best as we can possibly do that. So I'm going to do the main health and safety induction, and then I've got my brother here, Preggy Williams and Vernon. They are going to come and do the parking and the ushering portfolio as well, because that's the areas that we're going to require most of our assistance for the UPM, right? So basically, this is our volunteers induction. Go. Okay, it's a safety induction, right? Okay, this is basically the layout of the Rydalvale grounds. As you can see, this is Phoenix Highway. This is where what we normally call Unit 9 robots, right? I think everybody knows it as the Unit 9 robots or the Unit 9 intersection. That's where that is. Our main entrance for the UPM meeting is down this road into this road called Ashvale. So this is Ashvale Close. It's a one-way entrance, or well, it's two-way entrance, but it's a very narrow road into the area where we're going to come into our public parking. This is where we'll be parking, right? If you look on this side, it's an emergency evacuation area. This is our overflow seating, and then this is where our main arena is, right? This is the main arena where we will be having the actual prayer. The stage will go around here, where the light is now, and the rest of the seats will be set in this area first. If we do have a situation where we have more than the required number of people in this area, we will then go into our overflow, and that's where we'll accommodate that, all right? Guys, this entrance here is an emergency vehicle entrance. No one will be allowed to park there. So, unfortunately, not team members, pastors, praise and worship team, whichever team you're in, you will not be allowed access into this area here. I know that lots of people come and then they say they're part of the program or they're part of the team and that they want to come park in here. This is our emergency area, so no one can park in this area. So we'll probably use this for in and out in terms of ambulance, fire department, whatever other department. If there's any emergencies in the ground, we will use this area to conduct whatever emergency procedures we need to handle, right? If you look on this side, this black square is actually our command center. The command center is one of the main centers and the main points for any emergency in this event, right? So in the command center, we will have our chief safety officer. I'm gonna ask him to stand quickly. That gentleman over there, that young handsome gentleman, is Dane Woodley. He is our chief safety officer. He will be on the day of the UPM. He will be based at the command center. So he will make every final decision regarding any emergency procedure that we need to take. By the way, I didn't introduce myself. I'm sorry, I do apologize. I am Gerald Chetty. I am in charge of the logistics of the UPM. So I am on the ground, the person that will be doing the setup and everything from A to Z in terms of stage, sound, lighting, setup of chairs. I oversee security, ushering, all our emergency procedures. Everything falls under logistics. The chief safety officer is Dane, and he will respond from any safety procedures or safety evacuation methods that need to take place. He is trained in that. Unfortunately, if you come to me on that day, I will calm you down, I will pacify you, and I will find out from Dane what do we do. Okay, so that's what will happen. So that's our command center there, right? In that command center, Dane will be based there, and we will have our ambulance services that will be based at the ground. So if there's any emergencies, any medical problems, anyone get hurt, any injuries whatsoever, that's where they will go. So our first aid is based there, our command center is based there, and we will have our main security based at that point as well. For this UPM, we have two different security companies that have come on board. We have ProSecure and we have Fidelity. So those are the two security companies that's going to be assisting us. I think what you'll probably see more is you'll probably see ProSecure, very, very evident and in your face kind of branding and stuff, so that we have a presence of security awareness around. All right, so that's our command center. This is a paraplegic toilet. We try to get that as close to the arena as possible in the event that we need someone who has any disabilities that need to use the toilet. It's not far away. So if you're an usher or a car guard, you need to be able to direct them to that toilet, right? In this command center here, we'd also have fire extinguishers based there. So in the event of a fire, we'll have fire extinguishers based there. We'll have fire extinguishers based on the stage. And then the sound desk this year is going to go in this area here. I'm trying to get it around there. And there'll be fire extinguishers there as well. There is a set of toilets here in this car park area, and that is also for public use. And we will have portable toilets in other areas of the ground as well for the public to use. Now, this is a very, very important announcement that I need to make to you all. This little area here that you see just next to the command center, that area is actually a gym. It's an outdoor gym facility. I don't know if anyone of you have been to the Rydaldale grounds, but if you've been there, it's a little fenced up section and they've got an outdoor gym. That area, to us as UPM, it's out of bounds. So all those of you that are security or marshals or ushers, anyone who's attending UPM should not be allowed to go into that gym area. We did have a situation where, you see, because that's a public area, the public are still allowed to come in and use that gym facility, even though we are having UPM. Even while UPM is going on, they are allowed to come and use that facility. Now, if they are in that area and the kids see that and the kids decide to leave this meeting and go into that area, we have no control over what happens in that area, number one. Number two, last year, we noticed that a lot of kids were playing there, and there were a lot of kids that from the area that were there, and they were playing very, very wild. If somebody had to get injured in that area, it would have serious repercussions against us. So please guys, that's a very, very serious thing. We cannot allow for anyone to go there. The problem with it is, we cannot barricade it. Ideally what I'd like to do is I'd like to put a chain and lock around the gates, lock it up, put some red and white danger tape around it and don't let anyone in there. But we cannot do that because it's a public entity, and we'll have the councillors jumping down our throat as to why it's not open to the public. All right? But we just need you guys to help us in that area. That is something that's very, very serious. Last year the kids were playing extremely well and it could have turned out ugly. So please make sure nobody goes into that area. All right, now we're gonna have our security guys based in this area here. They will help the traffic on the road and allow the people in. We'll have security based at the main entrance, and there'll be directions going through all the way to the back, right? And then we'll have more security guys here, and they'll be directing you into the parking. So that's basically our traffic flow. We do have another entrance through to the ground, and that is if you go straight down Phoenix Highway past the ground. If you travel further up here, there's a little entrance. It's a dirt road that you can enter in here, and then you can still come into the parking. So you guys can use whichever entrance you want. It will be open. It will be available to you. If you guys want to use the entrance on this side, you're more than welcome to do that, and then we will direct you into this area here. On this specific one, in terms of the layout, I don't know if anyone has any questions immediately in terms of layout. If you want to find out anything, rather ask the question concerning layout now. I don't know if my co-pilots here got anything to add to what I've just said. Peggy, Vernon, Dane? Nothing. Any questions, guys, on that? Anyone? Somebody? Nobody? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, sir, I can't hear you. Can somebody take your mic to him, please? Both entrances will be used as entrance and exit. I know, but unfortunately, we're not allowed to stop the flow of traffic. As normal security or marshals, we're not allowed to stop the flow of traffic. If it's a road that allows a flow to travel both ways, we have to allow that to happen. We don't have that in our power to stop. It does create a bit of a congestion, but we will have metro police on scene, and they will obviously help guide the traffic out if it's becoming a problem. All right. Anything else? Okay, one more thing. No one is allowed to do any form of advertising on the ground. All right? So we understand that there's lots of good organizations. We know that there's lots of churches and different NPCs or whatever it is, radio stations, whatever organization they are, that would love to advertise, because there's such a big group of Christians coming together, and they'd like to get their stuff out there. Unfortunately, it is not allowed. So as a marshal, as a security, and as an usher, you're not allowed to let anyone hand out their pamphlets for any advertising whatsoever. We've had problems last year and the previous year as well. We don't want that. The other problem with it is that when they attempt to give out their handbills or whatever they want to give out for advertising, whilst the program is going on, we notice that they're actually disturbing the program to do it. So they're walking through the chairs and handing out handbills to people that are busy praying. So that's actually quite, let me not say anything. And then the other thing is that they're placing it on people's cars. The people's cars that are parked in that car park, we have our guards that are basically car guards that are watching those vehicles. For whatever reason, if one of them breaks a wiper, or whilst they're trying to put it in, or something goes wrong, it then becomes a liability of us, which we don't want. So we don't want them to go and interfere with people's cars whilst the people are not present. We don't want them to disturb people in service. Also, the other reason behind that is that this specific prayer meeting is a kingdom event. If you notice that in this whole prayer meeting, there's no church name mentioned, there's no pastor's names mentioned. It's nothing to do with any individual or any church. This is about the kingdom of God. We want to keep it that way. So we don't want people giving out advertising material and sort of people missing the point as to what it really is. We want it to stay clean, and that's important for us. However, if someone is standing outside of the security entrances and they're on a main road or a public road, and if they're handing out their stuff, we don't have any due restriction over them, right? We're only allowed to handle what is in the ground. Anything outside the ground, we cannot handle. However, that causes a big problem for us, because when they are giving out these pamphlets or flyers or whatever it is, outside the ground, when the people are exiting, they cause a major backlog of traffic for us who are trying to exit the ground. So as far as possible, please, we don't want that. All right, any other questions concerning this, so I can move on quickly? Yes, sir.
When approaching the situation, you find somebody that's doing the debt. Please don't tackle it yourself.
Okay, I think you understand what I'm going to say. Last year we as a team, we all understand that this is a kingdom event. We had people coming and say, they spoke to Pastor Speedy. Now, we all on the same page. We understand that this won't happen, but don't try and address it yourself. Either speak to the command center or to a general or one of the leaders, and we'll try and address it.
All right, important point. Okay, so if there's any problems, you stop them. If it's getting out of hand to the point where it's becoming a bit, hectic for you, please contact me. I'll be on the radio. So one of the leaders will contact me and I will come and address the situation. We had that last year and we managed to sort it out quite well. Yeah, I think Dane is very, very right. Everybody uses Pastor Speedy's name, right? Pastor Speedy, they're using your name in vain, right? So this year nobody will use your name. We'll tell you your name is not to be used, right? Okay, so we'll sort that out. Atesh, you got another question? Okay. Go for it. Scream, come on.
Are there any designated parking for the pastors? Is a special parking facility for them? For the guys that will be praying and stuff like that?
Is that a trick question?
No, because at the end of the day, when people are coming and be directing the parking, listen, you don't know who I am, I'm the pastor, I'm praying. So how do we direct that?
Okay.
Without offending.
No, you direct him very nicely. You say, Pastor, you see that area there? It says parking. That whole area is designated for you. That's how you tell. You tell him, Pastor, see that area? It's marked parking. Everybody, you'll all have special parking inside there. There is no special parking or special preference for anyone, right? That's it. So all the pastors, whoever's coming, it's not a disrespect thing. Please don't get me wrong. It is just so that one pastor is not respected and the other is not. We want everybody to be treated equally. This is a kingdom event. This is how it is. All right? So please, and also to answer your question, please speak very, very respectfully and speak nicely to the pastors and make them understand that there is no special arrangement for parking, but we have that parking. And if they come in early, we will make sure we try and fit them in on the closest end so that they have easy access to the area. As long as they're there early, we can do that. All right? So please, whichever way you handle any situation as a volunteer, you do it respectfully, you do it with manners. You must understand that, yeah, I can't say you're representing your church or your pastor or whatever. Yeah, you're representing Christ. End of story. So when you speak, understand, I am now representing Christ. I'm emulating Christ in my actions, the way I speak, and that's how you handle it. And I think that will give you a direction how to do it. If you feel the situation is out of hand and you can't handle it, then that's why we are here. Please call us, I'm available. Right? Just let me know, I will come and address it. Okay? Any other questions? All right. We do have on this area here, there's a small section here. We keep this little section here open, right? And that is just in case of emergency vehicle. We generally have like the program director that comes in. They have a whole lot of stuff in their boot. It's envelopes that goes to each pastor. There's different things that need to be done. So in that event, there is a area here that we handle that parking there. But from even pastors that are on the program, everybody's going to park in the parking area. I am in charge of logistics. I do the layout for the ground. I park in the parking area. I got no special parking. There's no Pastor Speedy, you park in special parking. Why are you saying? We gave Pastor Speedy a very special parking. He parks right in front of here, in this area here. It was very special, Pastor. All right. Any other questions, guys? Can I move on? Yes, sir. Yes, we allow that for all those that are paraplegic. They come on wheelchairs and stuff. What we do for them is we allow them into this entrance here. Our security guards that are here will verify it. They'll radio us, and then we'll give them a go ahead. They'll allow them in. They will drive all the way down here near the command center, and then they'll drop them here. We'll have ushers waiting for them, and then we assist them from this area here into the crowd, and then the vehicle will make their way out. We little bit flexible when it comes to that, because we understand that if there's an emergency and that person who's paraplegic needs to leave in a hurry, if the person has to walk from here all the way there, pick up his car, come all the way back to pick them up here, it's a bit time consuming and hectic. So those people that are paraplegic and they come with their car, we make a plan and we allow them to park there. Right? But that is on our discretion, and we will use that, and I give the go ahead for that, right? But that's what we did last year. So we'll do it again this year, because it wasn't a whole lot of vehicles that was going to congest the way, right? Any other questions? Nothing. All right, let's move through this slideshow quickly. Okay, each event has its own legal requirements and legislation which entails a volunteer's induction, and that's what we're doing now, right? Each volunteer remains responsible for his own health and safety and for those that are around him or her. So in other words, every action that you take while you're a volunteer, you've got to make sure that firstly you are safe in your action, whatever the action is. So for example, something stupid like you decide that something is high on the gazebo and you decide you want to put one of the plastic chairs there to step on it, to reach up there and try and get it. If the chair breaks, you're going with it. So you're going to get hurt. Things like that, simple things. But then there's also the possibility that you may fall on somebody else and you might get saved because they're like me, goma goma, and they may get hurt and you might be saved. But either way, whatever decision you make, please make it in the best interest of your safety and everyone else's safety. Right? Next. Always follow instructions from your department head. Do not take chances or any shortcuts. You have the right to refuse any unsafe work. So, if your department head is giving you a direction and saying, this is how we need it done. So we've got lots of department heads on the ground. We've got, we've got myself who's overall in charge of logistics. We've got Vernon in charge of the security and parking. Preggy in charge of ushering. We have Pastor Brett who's in charge of the praise and worship team. We have Pastor Speedy and Pastor Daniel who are in charge of the program and the pastors. There's a whole lot of other department heads that go with it, right? So each department head have people working with them in their team. Whichever instruction your department head gives you, we're asking if you would please follow that instruction and do it in that way because your department head will obviously work in the best interest of your safety. We're asking you not to take any chances and not take any shortcuts. Please, one of the more important things here is that if you feel that you are being asked to do something that is not safe for you to do for your own safety, you are more than welcome to refuse it. And tell them, I do not feel safe doing this, and you can say, I don't want to do it, and we'll either get somebody else to do it, or we will find a safer way of getting it done, but we'll make sure that the safety is first. Safety is one of the most important things. Right, next. Always use the protective equipment issued to you. Use safety equipment when and if necessary. High visibility reflective vest is compulsory. Now, we have a team working from Friday in the whole setup. So we do the rigging of the stage, the sound, we do lots of other stuff. So not everyone here is involved in that level of working. Most of you are going to be either, welcoming people and getting them seated and then in the parking, setting the vehicles up in the car park and that kind of thing. But there are people that will be coming and assisting us from Friday. So we'll be climbing high scaffoldings and there'll be a lot of other work. You have to use whatever protective gear is issued to you. So if we're cutting something, you need a goggles. If you are climbing up the scaffolding, you need a harness, you need it to be latched onto the scaffolding. All that different type of measures, you have to do that. The reason why I'm telling you this is because if in the event you do decide to tell me you're available on Friday and come and work with me, on Saturday and you're coming to help me, then you need to know all of this now so that in the event that does happen, it's available to you, please. And we make all the security and all the safety protective stuff available for whatever we're doing, okay? Next. All right, emergency radio response, emergency phone number. This is Dane's phone number. You can take it down. It's 083-785-0629. This is only for emergencies for UPM, by the way. So if you have a punch there tomorrow or something and you're somewhere, you're not allowed to call Dane and ask him to come and help you, right? Or maybe to unclog your drain or something like that. Dane is only the emergency officer for UPM, and you only take his number down for that purpose, no other purpose. Right, that's the first thing. The second thing is, if you have an emergency on the ground, there might be an emergency happening that's not visible. For example, let's say it's not a fire, but let's say it's someone's hurt or something happened, whatever it is, right? This is your sequence that you will follow. You will use the word emergency nice and loudly and you'll say it 3 times. Then you'll have radio silence. all other talking on radio stops. So whatever communication we're doing on the radio, if we're directing people or whatever we're getting information of, if we hear 3 sounds and the 3 calls for emergency, it means everybody comes to a stop. That means us as volunteers now, right? Us on the radios, we come to a stop where nobody talks. Then, after that, once all that stops, the person who's calling the emergency will tell us their name, whereabout they are. Can you all read this? Can you all see this part? Not really. I'll read it out to you, right? The first thing on the top there is your name. So basically, if I'm calling an emergency, I'll say it's Gerald. I'll tell them my location. I'm in the car park. Location of accident, the tire was touching the ground. Type of injury, pulled his toenail or something. Whatever it is, right? That's what he'll say. He'll say the number of people injured, the nature of the hazard, and what assistance is required. So those are all the different things that you will tell us when you are in a situation. You don't have to by heart it or anything, don't worry. When there is an emergency, we will ask your name and you'll tell us. Whatever we feel that you're running short of, we'll prompt the questions and you'll ask us. So either myself or Dane will be the only 2 people that will speak to you in the event of an emergency. Right? So we'll speak and you will respond to us. So when we ascertain what is happening, what's the damage, what's needed, then myself and Dane will make a quick decision. Where do we send you the paramedics there? Where are we going to phone for a chopper? Whatever we're going to do, we'll arrange it then and there. Right? You'll understand that. Anyone got any questions so far? Questions? Anyone? Yeah, sharp, you'll know everything, right? Okay, good. Next. Okay, incident and hazard reporting. All incidents and hazards must be reported. It is the responsibility of all volunteers and contractors to report incidents and hazards to the department head. Ensure that the information is correct. So basically, whatever happens, we want you to report to us. So if somebody got hurt while they were knocking something and they hit their finger by mistake, even though it might be small, we want to know that that is what happened. If first aid is needed, we'll arrange that, everything will be sorted out. We don't want for something to happen in the ground on the Sunday or the Saturday that you're working, and then you don't report it to us, and then a week later, you tell us, you know what, I had to go and remove my finger because when I knocked it, it turned septic and this is what happens, and if it's not reported, it will not be entertained. Right? Okay. Next. Do not fool around. While working, practical jokes can be dangerous. Unfortunately, this rule here, we got a problem with this rule, Master, because we are having jokes and we have a good time working the entire day, but we'll try and follow it as far as possible. Yeah. As far as possible, we'll try. Right. But the truth is, I won't lie to you, we work in UPM, we have such a good team that works there. They are having a ball of a time the entire day, and we're getting all the work done. So I'm not going to stop them from laughing and joking, but we will try and make sure that whatever we do is not dangerous. Right. Yes?
You got it mindful not to jump into the open bucket.
I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that, right? Okay. Adverse weather conditions, wind, rain, and lightning. Move to a shelter inside a vehicle, remain in a cab. Okay. You do the both things, right? Never hide or stand under trees. Make sure no vehicles are parked close to trees or light poles. Okay. I think Barney is here, and Barney will be a testament. We had, it was not last year, but it was the year before, we had a hectic storm. And trust me, for some reason, right, we know what the reason is, but for some reason, whenever we're having something like this, and it's a prayer meeting, and there's going to be a move of God, we get these things happening. The day before UPM, I think we set up the entire UPM logistics 3 times because of the weather. It took everything down and we had to set it again. It took everything down and set it again. On that specific day, my brother Barney, who are him, was parked in the wrong place at the wrong time, and the entire light in the ground, in Rydalvale ground, massive thick pole, I think it had some problems with it, whatever it was, it fell and landed on his car. His car was written off, and the insurance, he had to deal with his insurance company. It was a long process. Eventually he got it sorted out. But we don't want that kind of thing. So please try not to, park too close to the light poles, or try not to stand under and see if it's lightning. Those kind of things are simple things. The safest place is probably inside a car, all right? So just remember what we said, right? Okay, first aid, on-site first aid points must be clearly marked at the command center. All injuries must be reported immediately to your department head, no matter how minor the injury may be, right? And that's your safety officer's number again. So we will have a first aid center, right? It's located at the command center where the St. John's ambulance will be parked. We will also have a first aid, and we'll have first aiders there. And if there's anything that's needed, they will sort you out. All right. Next, please. That's a little bit like what our command center looked like last year, I think. All right. There's our ambulance parked here. That's our first aiders. As you can see, they're all busy not doing anything. Then this here is the security area. That's all our ProSecure vehicles, and that's a ProSecure station. So in the event of anything that you need security, you go to them, and if you need any first aid, you come here. And this little fence here is that area that I was telling you all about. That's the, that outdoor gym area. That's the area that's out of bounds. So that's the area we don't want you to go on, right? So that's basically where any emergency, anything, it's more like an information center. If there's anything you're unsure of, if there's anything you need to know, you can go to the command center and find out. And if there's anything that they need, they will radio us and we will give them the information, right? All our documentation for the conference, everything, all our COCs, all our certificates, all our requirements, our engineers' details for our scaffolding, everything that needs to, every legal document that we need and require on the day if we have an inspection, if the fire department decides to come out and check everything up, everything that we require is in that command center. So that's why we base Dane there. So if anyone comes, we let him answer all the difficult questions. Right, next. Okay, site fire extinguishers are located at the following areas: your command center stage and sound desk. I told you that already. So in the event that there is a fire, those are the places that you would acquire a fire extinguisher from. Personal behavior, I don't think we'll have a problem with this. You are required to arrive to the event in a sober state. Okay. You are required to arrive in a sober state. You need to be adequately rested and free of drugs and alcohol. So guys, we expect that all our volunteers that will come there, please, we hope and pray that you're not going to be consuming any alcohol or drugs. The adequately rested part, Pastor, I got a bit of a problem with that part. Because from Friday morning till Sunday, we work till 12, 1, and then we sleep and come back 6 o'clock and go back. It's really hard to be adequately rested, but we'll try. Maybe we'll have Red Bull or something.
The rest is in the middle of the party.
Oh, okay. Right, so the rested part is for all those of you that's coming on Sunday to serve on the ground. Right, but I think the team, all my members, you all know, there's no such thing as adequately rested. Don't use this line here on me in the ground. This is not your scapegoat, I'm telling you now. Right? Please, sorry. Right. Physical assault, fighting of any kind or intimidation will not be allowed. Firearms, knives, or any other self-defense weapons will not be allowed. Alright, so basically, more to do with conduct. We know that this is Phoenix, you know what I mean? And some of you all come from the shops. But please, keep it by the house. Right, you're coming in the ground. Okay. Do not walk underneath any suspended loads. Stay clear of any plant and machinery. Okay, so most of this will be happening on Friday and Saturday where we're rigging up stages and putting up the stuff. So you wouldn't be directly involved in that, but for those of you that will be assisting me, please make note that you don't do any of that, right? All persons must be aware of tripping hazards, especially cables and uneven surfaces. Right, so you all know that in the ground we have to run cables for power, we have to run cables for sound. There's different things. When you're walking around and stuff, please make sure that you don't trip over them. We try our best to have them covered so that they're not in the way, but please just be careful, right, with whatever you do. Do not enter any barricaded area unless you have the correct approval to work in that area. So if you see that there's a place that's out of bounds or barricaded, please do not go there, all right? Ensure when you're working on the scaffolding, you are wearing your safety harness and secure it to the structure. So that will apply to those of us that are there from Friday. If ever we're going up to do anything, put up the banners, whatever else we need to rig up lighting and stuff like that, we need to make sure that all our guys are wearing safety harnesses and we're doing that stuff. Thank God for me, I don't do heights, number one. Number two, they don't have any safety harness that fits me, so I'm excluded from that job. Right. No volunteers are allowed to be transported on the back of a vehicle. Does that cover it, Pastor Glenn? Okay. No volunteers are allowed to be transported on the back of the vehicle. Equipment which is being transported must be adequately secured. Okay. Very important, right? Last year we had an incident. After the UPM was finished, all of us were so excited. The program was over, everything went well, and then we decided that it's time to pack up. And that's exactly what we started doing. So everyone just started packing up quickly. And then there was a few of us, or one or two of us, that decided that they don't need to tie the chairs on the back of the bakkie. I mean, hey, why tie the chairs? Let's hold the chairs. How is the chairs going to fall while the bakkie is moving in the ground? I mean, it's only from the front of the ground to the back of the ground. And then as the bakkie was moving, one of our members went over, wood all the chairs, and it actually turned out quite serious because he ended up in hospital. Lucky he's still alive and he's still here, he's volunteering again. So Terry, was that a fractured? Okay, seriously, on a serious note, he actually got hurt quite bad, he ended up in hospital. I think it was a fracture. It was a fracture that he ended up getting. Thank God we had no legal lawsuits. Besides that, I wouldn't have entertained it because I never asked him to jump on the back of the guy. Right. So guys, please be careful, right? All ladders must be secured. When climbing, use 3-point contact and always have assistant holding the ladder in place, right? You'll all understand what that means, 3-point contact. It means that at any given point, one hand must be holding one of the struts together with 2 feet. If you're picking up one leg, it means the 2 hands must be holding one leg. I'm just trying to explain what 3-point contact means. Right? You'll all understand that. Please don't try to be a hero. Some of these young chaps, they're like running up the scaffolding, and I'm like so scared to even go up the first level because I don't like heights. But they're running up the scaffolding, no harnesses, no this thing. Please guys, we have to stop all that, right? Make sure we get it right. So no more running up things. You're going to use a 3-point. These are all the warnings and all our safety signs. These are the different things. Guys, you can just familiarize yourself with this. I'm not going to go through each of this, right? I think this is more for us that's actually working on the actual build-up of the stuff, right? Please keep your area clean and tidy. It is our responsibility to ensure that the grounds are clean, ensure bins are placed at prominent areas. So we will make sure that we arrange bins. We just need you to make sure that whichever area you're working in, that you keep it clean and tidy all the time, right? Never lift heavy objects alone. Stoop and bend the knees. Keep your back straight. Lift using the leg muscles. Push upward with the load if the load requires 2 or more persons to lift. Ensure someone gives the command to lift so the lift occurs simultaneously. All right. If you understand what that means, if it's too heavy for you, please don't be a hero. Ask us. We'll get help for you and we'll carry it properly with no one getting hurt. All right. Keep electrical tools away from the water. So that means if there's any water hazards or anything else that's happening there, please do not take the electrical equipment near it. You can get shocked. All right. This is very interesting. All right. Snake awareness. We put it part of the health and safety because a lot of snakes come in the ground. Stand still. Don't start looking for a broom. Back away if it is safe to do so. report the incident to your supervisor so that all fellow workers can be warned of the presence of a snake. Do not try to kill the snake. Remember, the snake is also scared of you and will only strike if threatened. Alright? Y'all got that? Simple, that's snake information. Right? I know some of you are snake handlers and all, but please just tell us about it. We'll get other people to come and handle it. Right? Please don't get involved in any snakes. Volunteer responsibility. The work that you carry out must be done in a safe, responsible manner. Your actions must not endanger yourself or anyone else around you. Okay, I touched on that earlier as well. If you are unsure about your safety, then ask your department head. Do not take any chances. Right, so basically what we're saying, guys, is if you're unsure about anything, if there's anything that you need information on that you're not sure of, please ask us so we can direct you properly so that you don't have to go do something that's unsafe. Right? Please understand your role as a volunteer. Department heads are there to assist and guide you when required. That's just what I said, right? Next. Please be aware that all volunteers are not, you all read that thing, right? It's not an error, right? Please be aware that all volunteers are not covered by the public liability insurance or by Meeting the Needs Foundation. Now this is important, guys. I need to explain this. You may feel you're coming and you're helping and you're now part of a volunteering team, and what if something happens to you whilst you're volunteering and now we're telling you you're not covered by the public liability insurance? The reason for this is that the public liability insurance is exactly what it states or what it's called. It's a public liability insurance. Now, the moment you engage and become a volunteer for the United Prayer Meeting, you're working under, and we run it under the organization called Meeting the Needs Foundation, and UPM is a separate entity. So once you come and volunteer and work under that organization, now, even though you're a volunteer, even though you're not getting paid, you now come under the banner of UPM or Meeting the Needs Foundation, which means that any organization that you work for, you can't claim from yourself. I don't know if that makes sense to you. Does it make sense? Does anyone need more clarity? Okay. Well, looking at me so shocked now or blank, please don't take your name out from the volunteers list. If there's any questions, ask me now. I'm going to be also getting more information about this concerning the pastors and stuff that will be attending and praying, whether they're going to be covered or not. We are saying that they are basically coming in as public and then they're asked to pray, which is different. But a volunteer who is coming to help set up, to help rig up stages and stuff, all of that. Even though you're a volunteer, you now basically, if I can say it this way, you now basically, it's like you're coming under the employment of Meeting the Needs Foundation and UPM. So therefore, because the public liability is taken out, in other words, we are taking out the public liability cover as Meeting the Needs Foundation and UPM, then if you are working under Meeting the Needs Foundation and UPM, you can basically, that organization cannot claim from itself. So there's no public liability. It's only a public liability cover, meaning all the public that enter the ground for the prayer meeting, all of them are covered, except our volunteers. Doesn't sound that nice. But unfortunately, I have to tell you, I have to give you this information so that you are aware that that is how it is. All right? We all understand that? We're all clear about that? Right? Okay, there is nothing more valuable than the heart of a volunteer. So that is why, guys, thank you very, very much for coming and showing your interest and passion and your availability to serve in the kingdom. We really need it. We really welcome it. We thank you very much for being a part of this. All right. I am just going to ask very, very quickly, before we go into the parking and the ushering, if there's any questions for the health and safety part. I am going to be coming up again just now once the parking and ushering is finished. I've got some announcements that need to be made for all of you, and then I'm going to close. But if there's any other questions quickly for what I've done now, then I need you to ask those questions now. Yes, Pastor.
Capturing, but the limited use of personal cell phones while actually walking around, volunteering, and giving instructions.
You mean in terms of the ushers?
Those who are working and volunteering.
So whilst they ushering,
Resist or control the use of cell phones.
to control it.
That's very important.
Okay, I think there's a request from Pastor Daniel. In terms of the ushers, that's going to be handling people and you know, helping with the arrangements in terms of the seating and stuff like that. It's just a request that in terms of the use of your personal cell phones, to try and control that use during the time of the actual prayer meeting, and maybe put it on silent or vibrate or whatever you need to put it on. But also in terms of while you're standing there as an usher and the prayer meeting is going on, to be able to take your cell phone out and start having a hearty conversation with someone about something that's happening would be a bit, you know, disruptive or even disrespectful in a way. So please, all we're asking is if you can control that. And if you really have to take a call, if it's an emergency, maybe you need to speak to your leader who is Preggy and tell him that you need to do something, there's an emergency, and maybe you can get somebody to stand in for you, and you can maybe take your call somewhere else and then come back to your post. If you can maybe just ask that. All right, anything else? Nothing else. Okay, thank you guys. I'm going to hand you over to Vernon. Let's give Vernon a hand as he comes.
Greetings in Jesus' name. Welcome to the volunteers meeting. As you see, I'm using a blue shirt. So the title of my church, I'm a deacon, I'm an elder, I'm a welder sometimes. But I have my title in my church. And when I put on my reflector vest, that's what's going to happen to you guys when you use this on Sunday. My name no longer exists, but you can see a name here. It's spelled Servant, because I'm a servant and I'm serving. Serving is also an act of worship. Okay, Gerald has been through most of the layout on the ground, the entrance and the exits and the parking. This is just an overview of the allocations of parking bays and how we're going to park the vehicles, and the allocation of the marshals and the security. So we go through this in detail when we're on the ground. All you need to know is that there are different parking areas. As he mentioned, the penetrating parking and the emergency at this point where the entrance is. The public parking is on the ground. Once this area here is full, we will overflow into the concrete parking on the outside of the ground. And thereafter, when that area is full, we'll move to the next area, number 3 and number 4. So basically, most of you guys here have been to the charity fair, and you know the parking area. And we will allocate the guys how to park and where they need to park the vehicles, right? So you see this. Next slide, please. Okay, the simple requirements: you're going to be a car guard, you're going to be a servant, you are serving. There are some requests that we have. You need to be polite and patient with everyone because you are there to serve, right? That is why it's called a volunteer. You're not getting paid, you're there to serve. You need to be at the ground at 11 o'clock. And the reason being is because we are there to receive people that are coming in. Guys are going to come in early, some guys are going to come to set up. We need to park there properly, so those guys that are volunteering to do the marshalling in the car guards, a humble request that you be on the ground at 11 a.m. on Sunday. You need to obey the instructions from your senior controllers. We're expecting plus minus 80 or even more guys helping with the car park. Obviously, we can't let the 80 guys that are talking at the same time. We're going to have like 6 senior controllers. These guys will take charge of an area that I've shown you on the previous map. So they will be taking charge of it. Please listen to these guys and give them your utmost attention. We need to direct traffic to the designated parking areas as per the map layout. That's what your duty is. And Marlene, please, when you're on the ground and you didn't see your uncle or your previous pastor for the last 5 years, or your family, don't stop them right there and start talking to them, how are you, never see you, then they jump off and they want to hug you. Guys, this is reality we face here. Guys that have been car park duties, they start to talk to the families they haven't seen in a long time. We don't mind it. First park them where they park, and then you can have the conversation. And general also, when you're helping with the car guard duties, please don't help your friend that you saw there so long about fishing and kite fishing and all your stories. You are there to serve. There's going to be 4 people per bay. And please, it is very rude when somebody is coming there to park and the guy is looking for a parking and you're busy in your conversation. Like what Pastor Daniel mentioned as well, and you're busy on WhatsApp and you're busy chatting. All we are asking you for 3 to 4 hours of your time. That is all. So guys do this as well. You're busy on your phone and the guy is looking for a parking and you disrespect it. Avoid conflict. If faced with an awkward situation, walk away and let someone else take over to resolve the issue. Don't cast out demons from the guy, don't pray for him, don't convict him, don't do anything. If you have a situation and the guy is giving you a hard time, humble request is to walk away. Somebody else should come in there and assist. We've got 4 guys in the bay. If there's a situation and a conflict, don't come and add fuel to the fire. The guy respectfully walks away and the second guy comes in and says, sorry, can I help you? What is the issue? Can you please park here? Be polite to people, right? Don't desert your assigned duties and posts. We've had that previously as well. If you're assigned to a post, you will stay in the post. Don't say, I'm going to stay there, I'm going to go work down there because that's my friend, that's my uncle. There's no uncles, no aunties in the ground. You are there to do a duty, so wherever you are assigned, that is where you will be posted. Please use your reflective vest at all times for 2 reasons. 1, it's for identification purposes. 2, it humbles you. It hidens your suit. And this thing here is beautiful. It doesn't temper your uniform that you're using, your beautiful dress or your clothes. It's designed in such a way that it brings out the clothes that you use. So keep your reflective clothing on. You need to be vigilant at all times, walk around and ensure safety of people and cars during the prayer meeting. We currently experience a lot of problems where kids are being abducted, where kids are missing, and all the humble request is, guys, when you're outside and you're seeing the parking and you see kids that are walking alone, don't scream and shout at them. Please humbly request them to go back to the parents. And also parents, a humble request, please keep the kids with you as well. So if you jump out of your vehicle and you're going towards the area to be seated, take your children with you. The other humble request is to drivers and the car guards. When the guys are leaving the ground and you're standing there and you're talking, guys, everyone is in a hurry to leave. Please be careful when you're leaving. Don't knock somebody, don't rush out. Have the same patience. Normally when you come in frustrated. After the prayer meeting, you should have calmed down. What we notice, a guy come in frustrated after the prayer meeting, I don't know, for some reason, he's still frustrated, and you're rushing to go home. Guys, please, a humble request, it's a challenge to manage so much of vehicles. Our job is to guide traffic and pedestrians in and out of the ground. Don't leave the ground until the cars have left the parking area. You volunteer to be a car guard, you will be there at 11 o'clock and you will leave at 5 p.m. The reason being, because sometimes there are cars, there's 20 cars still in the ground, and the pastor is having a conversation and they're busy. You can't suddenly leave the cars to take care of itself. That's being irresponsible. So it's still our responsibility to take care of the cars. You also need to assist with the cleanup duties, because you volunteer. You're a volunteer, so we need to cover up and help clean up the grounds. And as General mentioned, no vendors are allowed in the ground to do distribution of pamphlets. Just stop the guy and say, you know what, I'll get back to you. And then get hold of one of us, or we will get hold of General, and you will come and address the issue. And General, we're talking about special parking. The beautiful part of this, September 15th, everybody is special. Okay, thanks for your faithful support in serving God's people and adhering to the Lord's call. Once again, we want you to remember that it's all about. Thank you.
Amen. Let's give God a hand. Thank you very much, man. Next is the ushering. I'm going to ask Freddie to join me up.
In Jesus' name. Are we all in the serve? Amen. Okay. Once again, it's our UPM 2017, correct? 2019. We're just skipping it. Okay. So So ushers, we are here to serve, right? Look at the scripture there. Ephesians 6, serve wholeheartedly as if you were serving the Lord, not men. So whatever we do on that day, we are serving God and we're serving His people. So as all the other guys before me said, we are volunteers, right? Next slide, please. Okay, dress appropriately. So basically, what we're going to do is we're going to distinguish our ushers very simple and clean, black and white, black pants, black skirts, and white tops, right? And we'll give you reflective vests to blend in, like I've read in such. I'll try and get you maybe pink or orange, depending on what we can get, we'll blend you in, right? But you must use the black and white, so we look respectful. Remember, how we present ourselves, we're doing God's work, and the presence of God is already here. And we get there, we do respectfully, all right? If you have a challenge with black and white, then you're going to someone contact me, my number is at the end of the slide, and we'll see what we can do. But each usher will have to be dressed up like that, all right? Respectfully and professionally comfortable, you are part of the team. Again, for the females, please, we want everybody to be dressed in a comfortable manner. We don't want tight skirts and tight jeans, because remember, we're doing God's work, and we need to present ourselves respectful, right? You know who you are, you're a child of God, you are serving, so you dress how you think God will respect you, okay? Wear a smile on your face, show the love of Christ. Again, as we receiving the people, put a smile on your face, right? As Bernard said, if you come in, maybe a challenging morning, you shouldn't have a challenging morning, you're going to service, just put a smile on your face, smile, brush your teeth with Colgate, maybe total, full clean out, and then have a chewing gum in your mouth, you should be fine for the day, right? Next one. Okay, all right. Okay, first impressions, warm welcome, Christ-like character, next one. Provide a safe and healthy environment, it's repeated, I think. Be aware and alert of your surrounding at all times. Okay, so let's leave the slide. So I'll go back to the slide with the stage, please, layout. Okay, as you can see, this is the layout of the ground. Okay, ushers, you need to take note of this. You're going to be standing. This will be the stage, all right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 zones. Each zone will be catering for 100 people. Each usher, there'll be 2 ushers, one here, one on the right, one on the left, in the front, one on the left, one on the right, in the back of each zone, right? So each usher will be designated to that zone. Now we're not going to give you your names now. What we will do, your names are on the list that we have. When you come to the grounds on Sunday morning at 11 o'clock, when you pick your badge, you'll know exactly which zone you're going to go to. On your badge will be an usher's badge and which zone you're going to be designated to. That means when you are designated to zone A, for example, this is zone A, you will stay there for the entire program, right? You'll only leave that zone when everything is cleaned up, the chairs are put away, that's when you're going to go home, right? So that, for example, that will be zone A, 1, 2, 3, 4, you'll be designated throughout the program, right? And then also in saying that, when we're doing communion, the usher must understand we're doing from right to left. So you're going to be able to guide the people to move to the right, down the line, communion, and back to the table on the left, all right? For example, say this is usher 1, all the people will move to the right, down, communion, come back to their seats that way. Simple, nothing complicated, right to left. But on that morning when you come in, we have a quick session before you go to your duties. We will just remind you of that again. All right, next slide. Next one. Okay, provide directions. Again, like Gerald said, as an usher, he showed you the layout of the ground. It's important to know where the restrooms and all the facilities on the ground. Because people are going to ask you, you are the point of contact. You need to know where you're standing, where the water stations are, where the restrooms are, and where the emergency centers are, right? Okay, know where the Holy Communion tables are? Okay, I showed you. It's all at the front of each row. Of each row, that is the, whichever zone you are based in the front of you, the Holy Communion tables will be there. You will be given the instruction on the grounds on the day who will be fetching the Holy Communion and bringing it to the table, all right? Don't leave your position you're assigned to unnecessary. That means you shouldn't be leaving it at all unless you need to go to the loo or maybe water. Again, like the other guys have said, please, we know, all you guys know a lot of people. When people come in, greet them, send them to the seats, so everything is done smoothly and efficiently, all right? Assist people with needing prayer, guiding them to designated prayer places. Okay, again, you do not need to pray for anybody. Maybe in your church, maybe you are a prayer warrior, but on that day, there will be pastors assigned for praying. They will do the praying. If anybody needs assistance, take their names down. We'll give you a pen and a page, but leave the rest to the pastors. Okay? Next slide. Again, repetition, yeah, okay. Never avoid conversation with visitors, we spoke about that. Okay, cell phones, electronic devices, all ushers, humbly requested, you either put your phone on silent or you put your phone off. Like Valia said, we are serving on that day. Surely we can give God the time He deserves and respect He deserves. We keep our phones on silent or even put it off. Have a break from technology for a change and let's enjoy, let's drench in the presence of God. Okay? Okay, I also mentioned have a gum. Please guys, we all have a long day. My advice and what you should do when you come to the meeting, quick floss and brush, come to the meeting, have a gum in your pocket. Carry two, share with the person next to you because you don't know who the person is, you'll become sociable as well, right? Assist the elderly people. Very important, we need to give elderly people special attention, guys. I know we're providing 2,000 chairs, but please first make seating for the elderly first, right? That's priority. Those that can stand, youngsters, let them stand, right? Do not be angry and rude. I think Vernon covered that. Same applies to the ushers. You have to be calm. You know, sometimes when people are rushing and stuff, they make it angry. You will be calm, collected. If you have a challenge, you call one of the leaders that will be assigned to the station and we'll assist you. They're grateful, right? You need to be ready at all times and respond as directed when there is disturbances or anybody's not feeling well. Again, like General pointed out, we have a command center. Let the main usher know what's the problem, and we'll get people to the emergency services. And you also can assist, but when you finish assist, get back to your station. All right? Don't leave it unnecessary. Okay, again, guys, as all of us are here today, we made commitment to spend time and serve the Lord. We got to spend time. I know we're already fasting and praying. You yourself, it's an individual thing. Spend time in fasting and praying because prepare yourself for the day. This is God's work. This is kingdom work. What you do, what you sow now, it's a seed that you're sowing. Your time, and even being here tonight, you already started the ball rolling, all right? Okay, next slide. Okay, punctuality. We agreed now with the pastors. We would like you guys to be there at 11 o'clock. So we set the platform. Remember, you are the ones that are receiving the people. So you can't come there at 12:15 or something, they're very 12:30. Because people will be coming from far, they will be there from 11, 11 onwards. So please guys, be there at 11 o'clock. I know we all have church on Sunday, but I know the entire body of Christ knows of the event, and most of the churches are trying to finish early, but try and rock up there early. When you come to the grounds, you will go to the command center where you collect your badges and where you are going to be assigned to, right? For those of you that have put your names on, we will create a chat so that we can give some more information on the chat. We'll even put the layout so that you know what you're doing and what's required for you on that day, all right? And there's my number there, that's my wife and I. It's our number. You can call us, take it down. And if you have any challenges, let me know, all right? Okay, any questions for us? Yes, Pastor Daniel?
To all the ushers who are taking people to their seats, parents who come with their children, the children must be seated with the parents. No special supervision of kids will be allowed. The onus and the responsibility is the parents over their children. When the ushers are moving or placing the parents, put them in a strategic place so if the kids need to move to the toilet and so on, don't put them in the center of the row, more towards the end. So if the kids need to go to the toilet, the whole point is we cannot allow children to be free. They have to be with their parents. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's noted, Pastor Daniel. I think that's a very valid point what Pastor Daniel said. We don't have a facility for catering, looking after kids. The kids will be seated with their parents so that everything is done in an orderly fashion. Okay? Anybody else?
Okay, thank you, Peggy. Let's give Peggy a hand. Okay, very quickly, I'm just going to run through a few urgent announcements. I know that the UPM praise team is practicing here today, and we wanted to try and give them the venue as early as possible. I know we've run a little bit late. We were hoping we'll wrap this up within an hour. Very, very important today. If you have not filled in the register at the back, please, you have to fill in the register. The reason for the register is for the purpose of the induction and insurance, that we need to prove that we inducted all our volunteers, right? So you have to fill in the register for us, right? By the way, you can catch this whole thing on YouTube within the next day or two. It should be on YouTube. And for those people that you know that wanted to be here, that want to volunteer, but are not here today for whatever reason, we will be having induction again on Saturday morning. We will be inducting the pastors, so we can invite you to a special pastor's induction, just to make sure we induct you, right? So those of you, and if you know that there's anyone that is still coming to get involved, but they're not yet inducted, they have to get inducted to be a volunteer. They cannot be a volunteer without being inducted. It's a criteria, right? We will create a WhatsApp group. So all those of you that are put into the ushering department, there will be a WhatsApp group that will be created. You will find that you are added onto that group, and then that means you're an usher. And if you are included in a WhatsApp group that says security, then you will be part of the parking and security. Now, I know that some of you sitting here today, maybe you came in with an understanding that you want to be in ushering, or you want to be in parking, or whatever it is that your preference was. If that is so, you can speak to us. We will try our best to accommodate us. We'll accommodate that when we sit with our arrangements and try and accommodate you in that specific area that you would like to be involved in. However, please understand that this is a volunteering act of yours that you are now coming in to assist us. There is specific needs that we have, and we would appreciate if you could please be understanding in that area and just be able to be flexible to the point where you can either work in the ushering or the parking and security, because sometimes a lot of people want to do ushering, but nobody wants to help with parking and security. And then Vernon, even if he puts his vest on, he'll be the only one putting his vest on, right? So we need to just spread some people around and make sure that we're covered in that area there. So please just bear with us there. Like we said, the time for the volunteers to come in is at 11 a.m. The reason for this is that we will do allocation of the vests and the areas that you will be involved in, so that you have enough time to set yourself up. And it's obvious that we want you early so that you can park in earlier, you can be on the ground ready, and you can receive the people. Because as ushers, we need to be receiving the people, right? So that is our requirement. Please, we understand that some of you may be a little late. We understand that you go to church. We understand that you probably need to grab a bite quickly before you come to the ground. That's fine. But our requirement is 11, but please get there as early as you possibly can. That's what we're saying. Like I said earlier, we may need to move you around because we may need more on the parking. Also, we will be working from Friday. So we will be in the ground from Friday around 9, 10 o'clock, as soon as the stage and scaffolding arrive. And we'll work till Friday, hopefully not too late, maybe till about 6, 7 o'clock. And then we'll start working. Well, we'll be in the ground from 6 o'clock on Saturday morning, because we'll be setting up for the prayer walk, right? So while I'm doing it, let me make that announcement. Saturday morning is a prayer walk from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. It will be very, very nice if all of you volunteers could come to that prayer meeting. We know most of the churches are closing up their intercessions and they're coming into that one. Please make yourself available. So from 7 to 8 will be the prayer walk, and from 8 to 9 we'll be doing the induction for the pastors, right? What else? Okay, we need help. So for those of you that are available, besides coming to the ground on Sunday just to volunteer on the Sunday, we have lots of work the whole of Saturday, the whole of Friday, and the whole of Saturday. So all those of you that are at home and you are available and you'd like to help, you could even see me now before you leave. Or if you want, you can see Ashina at the back and give her your details, and then she'll send it to me, all right? I could use the help. Okay. Saturday afternoon, there will be a sound check, and I think we're going to do that at 4 o'clock, and that'll give the that'll give the praise and worship team a time on the stage to probably even run through maybe almost a full practice if you can, because the guy is giving us till 6 o'clock. So if the praise team wants to come in a little bit earlier, maybe like 3:30 to set up and stuff, so that you know you have a solid 2 hours and you can do like a full practice session. It'll be a nice mock run for the Sunday, right? All right, I think that wraps up all of the announcements that I need to make. Is there any questions, please, before I close? Because I just want to make sure that everyone's clear on everything that... Any questions? Register. Okay. Okay, we have all of the stuff that's going on Facebook. Please like it and share it so it reaches as many people, so we can invite as many people as possible. There is the register there. Please, very, very critical. If you've not filled in the register, please fill the register in before you leave. We will have the register trying to go around as well. All right. I think that's a wrap, guys. Are you all happy? Everyone's video. Got a video to show. Oh, okay. All right, guys. We are.
The church is coming together in prayer. You must be saved. When I declare you, it's all about Jesus. One voice, one spirit, one body, in unity. 15th September, 12:30, 4 p.m. at the Red Sports Ground, Phoenix. Contact 082-495-455. Catch us live on Facebook.
Okay. Done. Oh, good. Okay. Let's all stand. Let's just close our eyes and bow our heads. Pastor Kenya, pray for us.
Our Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, that you have chosen us for a time such as this. Father, we receive this prophetic call of our lives as we begin to stand in the gap. And Father God, we know that we are standing in not by chance, but through your divine, wonderful opportunity you have created for each one of us to serve you. Father, we want to stand and serve in prayer. And I thank you, Lord, for the many who have come this afternoon. Let there be a unction, a compassion, and a great desire to serve you like never before. And I'm asking today, mighty God, that you prepare each one of us spiritually, physically. And Father God, we just thank you that even as we stand under the canopy and the banner of heaven, oh Lord, that you'd use us, even if we're not involved in the program, to become ambassadors for you. We just thank you, Lord, that you will humble us on that day. Lord, you give us the spirit of unity. Oh Lord, that we would recognize that we are a church on that afternoon. Father God, we realize, oh God, that without you we can't do anything. And therefore we humbly cling to the cross. And for those of us who are fasting and praying this coming week, let there be a personal deliverance, a personal meeting and encounter with you. Father God, that the glory of the Shekinah glory of God will be seen upon us. That those who will come to the ground on Sunday will already be convicted to know that they are connected to Almighty God through us and you would use us. We just thank you, Lord, for all those who are involved, all those who are serving, planning, and directing. I thank you, Lord, that you give us wisdom from above. We thank you, Lord, for divine knowledge, divine direction, and we ask, Lord, for you to sanctify us, purify us. In Jesus' name we pray, because it's all about Jesus. Thank you, Father. Amen.
Amen. Thank you once again for coming. You dismissed. God bless you.